And hello fellow Tanker Space Bandit here with another episode of World of Tanks, and today what I have for you is a guest replay from TheGreatWhite 56 in an apparently dead tank, which is E50 Tier 9 German medium tank. Yes, boys and girls, this tank has deficiencies for sure. This tank has been nerfed back in the day. It used to be my favorite tank in the game for the longest time. This is probably one of the tanks that I have the most games played in, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe I'm mistaken, I don't know. Maybe I don't remember. But I used to love this tank so much until it got nerfed. And then later I tried to make it work and it never worked for me after. One thing good about this tank still is the mobility. Mobility is pretty good. The armor is relatively decent at this tier, especially being top tier the way TheGreatWhite is in this matchup. At tier 10 probably not. So TheGreatWhite gets himself in this position here. This is early position, which I usually go to on this map. It usually works out quite nicely early game. One thing you have to be concerned about here is Artie, because Artie will be prioritizing this position and will be shooting at you here. So be careful about that. But as you can see, in update 6.0, this gun doesn't seem as derpy as it used to be. Or shall I say, aim time seems much better than what it actually was in a previous update. This gun was never derpy. Actually, if fully aimed, this gun will actually shoot really nice, straight to the point. Accuracy of this gun is still really good. It's just the aim time being at 3 seconds is really horrific. But I wouldn't mind if TheGreatWhite chimes in under this video and tells us his setup on this tank, because his gun seems to be functioning quite well and this aim time doesn't seem so bad with the setup that he has currently. So yeah, I would greatly appreciate that. And what he's gonna have here is a fantastic game in this tank. So he's getting early initial damage right here, getting these guys that are crossing on the 7 line, and I already started looking at him, as you noticed there. So he's gonna play out of this position for as long as he can. And lately I've noticed, in current meta anyway, that the friendly team doesn't seem to be wanting to move anywhere from 1, 2, 3, and 4 lines. So basically this became the area of defense, and players prefer sniping than moving up further north or further east. Unfortunately, this ISM gets himself in a position that's going to be quite difficult for TheGreatWhite, I think, because tanks that can side scrape out of that position, they can play it really well, especially if there's nothing shooting them from across the map. So he's trying to relocate to see if he's gonna get any shots at him, but unfortunately he does not. I don't know how he puts that shell in. That was actually a pretty good snapshot right there. But yeah, it's gonna be hard for him to shoot him from here, especially if there's someone on the opposition's hill at C8. Yeah, poking out like that it's probably not gonna work second time around. So I think he's thinking here what to do next. What is the next possible opportunity for him? Where can he get some damage? By the way, TheGreatWhite has his own YouTube channel, and I will leave the link to his channel in the description section below. I strongly recommend his channel. He's a super unicum, excellent player, and you will definitely benefit from his videos and his walkthroughs on how he does things in his videos. I think he does an excellent job, so don't hesitate, go and check it out. He's got few games already posted, and I hope he's gonna plan to grow this channel even more, because definitely most of you guys can learn a lot from this guy. Anyway, let's get back into the game. So as you can see, the game is really close, and usually with a setup like this it will be very defensive, because his team is not really pushing anywhere, all defending in the same area. So all he's got to do right here is just look for shots. So he did manage to put a shell into that KV5, but now KV5 pulls back. So what's next? Let's see what he does next. I think at this point he just needs to be patient. Since the opposition team was the first one that pushes, I think they're going to continue pushing. Unfortunately, this ISM is still a pest, as you noticed there. Great was looking for shots into area G 6, and the ISM puts a shell into his side turret. So yeah, that play is not going to work again. And in games like this, you guys have to recognize those situations. If the shot is available where the opposition is not looking at you, take that shot of damage, but beware, the second time you look in the same direction from the same position, the opposition will be looking at you and likely targeting you. So there are situations where you can sneak past the opposition to get a shot of damage where they're not really expecting it, but don't expect them to not pay attention the second time around, because they will. So in this situation, GreatWhite was playing patient. He was actually pre-aiming at the ISM in case he decides to poke, but he did not. And yeah, he can't push through there, definitely. There's no way he can do anything on that side of the map. So he's going to go in the center, and this Draugen all of a sudden decides to YOLO in here. That wasn't a smart play by the Draugen, because there's plenty of GreatWhite's friendlies over here. So he's gonna push and ram the Draugen, and he takes him out of the game just like that. So he's currently sitting at about 3k damage with 1200 assisted, but that is not over. Not yet, boys and girls. This game is going to be much better than this, and a lot is still to come. So as you can see, he's only cruising around the same position, and at this point that's the only thing he could do. I don't know how that ISM, oh, he penned him in a lower plate, so he must have overexposed just slightly there. Yeah, that was a very narrow shot, it seemed, but I guess it wasn't after all. But now the ISM is flanked, his friendlies are dead, and there's a TD right behind him right there, so he should die in a split second. And since the GreatWhite's friendlies are pushing, he's gonna push at the same time, and yeah, ISM got taken out. So he's gonna progress further. A nice shot on the move right over there, takes that guy out of the game. And looks like there's still one TD left on this side of the map, and I don't know what he was doing over here in the back of the map, but good for GreatWhite. He's gonna come around from behind, and E50 is good at that because of mobility. So he should be able to put some shells into his behind, and that's exactly what's gonna happen here. So yeah, he puts a shell into his behind. All he's gotta do is go behind him right here. Oh no, he's gonna ram him. Yeah, that's the way to do it, guys. I mean, E50, one thing I didn't mention is E50 is a great tank when it comes to ramming. It's usually much heavier than any other tank, and with the speed that it has, you can really use your speed to ram into something. And I strongly recommend that you utilize this tank in those situations. Looks like GreatWhite is doing a great job of using the tank's strengths to his advantage. Artie just pops out, so he takes him out of the game, and now it should be closeout. Only 2 TDs left, but still TDs with guns, and TDs usually have big guns, and the GreatWhite doesn't have a lot of HP left, so he's gonna have to be really cautious here when he's approaching. And final damage is quite important, especially for you guys that want to improve your stats. Final damage is critical to beef up those stats, so never push in first at the end and see what GreatWhite's doing. He knows that there are 2 TDs left, 2 big guns left in the game, and as you noticed here, he was really patient and waiting until his friendlies engaged this waffle, and after his friendlies engaged the waffle, he pushed him and he took all of his HP pretty much, or most of it, if not all of it. That was a good patient play. And a lot of players are really impatient at the end of the game, just rushing in, trying to get that damage. But remember, if you rush in first, you have to be aware of how much armor you have, what's the opposition tank's alpha, whether it will be able to pen you or not, whether you can face him 1v1 or not. These are very important things to consider at the end of the game. And if you're not aware, if you're not sure, you know, all these things, what's the alpha on the opposition tank? Can he kill me with one shot? Am I good enough to face him 1v1? Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Wait for your friendlies to come in first, and let the opposition face your friendly first before you engage, the way GreatWhite's doing right here. He knows he's a one-shot, so he's waiting for his friendlies. Even if he didn't know if he was a one-shot, it's a good thing to wait for your friendlies, and then take advantage of the fact that they're not paying attention to you, or they're not looking at you at the end of the game. As you notice here, he took opportunity to relocate when he was unspotted, so he gets himself into this position here where Yak Tiger cannot shoot him, but he's gonna still wait for his Yak Tiger to engage him. And here he puts a shell into him. He could have tracked him there, but he's taken sure damage. And now he's probably gonna ram him. Is that what's gonna happen? Oh yeah! Finish the game in style with icing on a cake using that ram ability of E50. Just a fantastic game in this tank. Take a look at that. I mean, in current meta, especially with low alpha rolls, getting 6.7k damage in this tank is absolutely ridiculous. With 1200 assisted, 6 kills for his Top Gun medal. Obviously he gets ace tanker for this game, high caliber medals. He finishes on top of the team. Well, he should have finished on top of the team, but this was the game from when the leaderboard was broken, because he should have finished on top of his team with that result. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I strongly encourage you to go and check out GreatWhite's YouTube channel. Link to his channel is in the description section below. I hope you enjoy his content. That's it for now. Until next time, happy tanking. Space Bandit checking out.